Welcome children. Once again I am going to explain about narration. Before explaining the topic, let me tell you that in my previous classes I have already explained about some part of narration and now I am going to explain other parts of narration. Now let me tell you how to change words denoting time and position while changing the direct speech into indirect speech. Some words denoting distance. These changes are made if the reporting verb is given in the simple past tense. This becomes that, these become those, here becomes there, thus becomes so, now becomes then, ago becomes before, today becomes that day, tonight becomes that night, yesterday becomes the previous day or the day before, tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day, last night becomes the previous night. Next week or year becomes the following week or year. Last week or year becomes the previous week or year. For example, number 1, direct speech. He said, "This is a nice pen." While changing into indirect speech, it becomes, he said, "That was a nice pen." Number 2, direct speech. He said, "I went to the zoo yesterday." While changing into indirect speech, it becomes, she said that she had gone to the zoo the day before. Now, let me tell you how to change an imperative sentence into indirect speech. Now, let me tell you what is an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence depicts a command, a request or an advice. Number 1, the reporting verb or the interrogatory verb is changed to order, request or advice. Other words that can be found suitable are ask, beg, command, forbid, invite, remind, tell, urge, warn. Number 2, in a reported speech, the verb is changed into an infinitive. For example, to go, to come, to open, etc. instead of the imperative form used by the speaker in direct speech. For example, number 1, direct speech. He said to me, "Please give me a glass of water." This sentence indicates a request. So when changes into indirect speech, it becomes, he requested me to give him a glass of water. Number 2, direct speech. The officer said to the soldier, "Shoot." This sentence indicates order. So in indirect speech, this sentence becomes, the officers ordered the soldiers to shoot. Number 3, direct speech. The teacher said to the students, "Work hard and be regular in your studies." This sentence indicates an advice. While changing into indirect speech, this sentence becomes, the teacher advised the students to work hard and be regular in their studies. Number 4, direct speech. The boy said to the headmaster, "Pardon my fault, sir." In indirect speech, this sentence becomes, the boy begged the headmaster to pardon his fault. Number 5, direct speech. The teacher said to the students, "Do not make a noise." In indirect speech, this sentence becomes, the teacher forbade the students to make a noise. Now, let me tell how to change an interrogative sentence into indirect speech. Before explaining it, let me tell you what is an interrogative sentence. Interrogative means asking question. That means whenever you are asking question is an interrogative sentence. Now, let me tell the rules. Number 1, the reporting verb or the introductory verb is changed to asked, inquired, demanded, etc. Number 2, whether or if is used after such introductory verb when the question begins with have, has, may, do, did, is, are, etc. and when the answer to this question is either yes or no. Number 3, all questions begins with interrogative words like how, why, where, who, when, which, etc. Number 4, the interrogative form is changed into assertive form. The question mark is omitted. Number 5, tenses, pronouns and words denoting nearness are changed according to the rules that I have already explained. For example, number 1, direct speech. The teacher said to Ramesh, "Have you found out your mistake?" This sentence indicates an inquiry while changing into indirect speech. This sentence becomes the teacher inquired of Ramesh if or whether he had found out his mistake. Number 2. Direct speech. I said to the bookseller, can you show me some storybooks? In indirect speech, this sentence becomes I asked the bookseller if he could show me some storybooks. Now, let me tell you how to change a wish or exclamatory sentence into indirect speech. Now, let me give you some rules. Number 1. The reporting or the introductory verb is changed into wish, bless, cry, exclaim, pray, curse, etc. with such phrases as with regret, with delight or joy, with sorrow wherever needed. Number 2. The interjections and exclamations such as oh, well, hurrah, alas, bravo, curse, etc. are removed and their senses is expressed by means of phrases. Number 3. The exclamatory sentence is changed into a statement before it is converted into indirect speech. Number 4. The exclamatory mark is removed. For example, direct speech. He said, how sad I am. In indirect speech, this sentence becomes he exclaimed that he was very sad. Number 2. He said, oh God, help me. In indirect speech, this sentence becomes he prayed to God to help him. Number 3. Direct speech. They said, hurrah, we have won the match. In indirect speech, this sentence becomes they exclaimed with delight that they had won the match. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.